6 myths about carbohydrates, coming right up. Hey, this is Dr. Ekberg with Wellness for Life, and if you'd like to truly master health by understanding how the body really works, make sure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss anything. So I came across an article I just had to comment on. It was called 6 Reasons Why You Should Eat Carbs. So that turned into the title, of course, 6 Myths. We're going to look at the arguments that they presented in this article, supposedly supported by research, and see if it has any validity. So the first thing that they said was that it can boost the mood because they seem to increase serotonin levels, which is a mood enhancer, when you eat carbohydrates. And that is absolutely correct, that the wheat and the carbohydrates, many grains, they bind to the opiate receptors in the brain, and they have a pleasurable effect. They stimulate pleasure in the brain. And do you know what else stimulates pleasure in the same way? It's called heroin. And it's way, way better. If you really want to boost your serotonin levels, then heroin's the thing for you. So to claim that something can boost a neurotransmitter is not proof that it's a good food. It's something that has a drug-like effect. That's why it's so addictive, and that's why people get so hooked on it and have such a hard time giving it up. Number 2, weight loss. They said that people who eat carbohydrates with more fiber, they tend to lose more weight than people who eat carbohydrate with less fiber. So again, they're not making an argument for eating carbohydrates, they're making an argument for fiber. And then they're making it sound as if grains, which are high in carbohydrate, is the only or the best source of fiber. This is not an argument for carbohydrate, it's an argument for fiber. The best sources of fiber are vegetables and seeds. Many leafy greens as you can get. Eat some flaxseed and some chia seed and some hemp seed and on, and there you go. Number 3, it improves heart health because people who eat more fiber has lower LDL. And again, LDL being beside the point, but they're making an argument for fiber, not carbohydrate. And they're basically saying that people who eat a little bit more fiber probably don't eat quite as crappy and a processed diet as the people who have no fiber. So of course they're going to do a little bit better. That's not an argument for carbohydrates. Again, number 4, they said that you can reduce body fat if you swap refined grains for whole grains. Again, it's not an argument for carbohydrate, it's an argument against the worst kind of carbohydrate for something that's not quite so bad. It's like saying if you eat a half a pack of rat poison, it's better than if you eat the whole package. And I'm exaggerating a little bit there because it isn't necessarily rat poison, but you can't claim that something's good because it's not as bad as something else. Number 5, improved memory. And this one just had me rolling on the floor. They took a group of people and they put them on what they called a low-carb diet. What does that mean to most people? Well, most people, if they follow the recommended guidelines or even doing higher carb intakes than that, they're eating somewhere around 400 grams of carbs a day. So if you go low carb from that level, that could be maybe half. So if you're eating 200 grams of carbs after you've been eating 400, that would seem like a low carb. And I know a lot of studies, they do that and they think, oh, well, this is low carb because it's a lot less than the astronomical amounts that they were eating. And then they had them eat that for 1 week. So physiologically, basically, they didn't change the diet a whole lot because they just went from astronomical carbs to high carbs. So the body had no chance to adapt to anything except carbohydrate for fuel. and then they drop them to 0 carbs. And then they have them do memory tests. So these poor people that have gone from a carbohydrate-fueled metabolism to 0 carbs instantly, they have no source of fuel. They have no source of glucose, blood sugar. Their bodies have absolutely no idea what happened. They're probably passing out. They have headaches. They're dizzy, brain fog. They're just happy to stand up. And then they have them do memory tests. Who comes up with this research? And they call this research and they quote this research. Amazing. Amazing. Lastly, one more argument. They says that it blasts fat again, so it has to do with weight loss and body fat, etc. And now they're saying that it relates to insulin. And it's like, wow, yeah, it does. I know. And they said, if you work out after oatmeal, 3 hours after eating oatmeal versus eating white toast, you burn more fat. So again, they compare a halfway decent carbohydrate in some cases to the absolute worst form of refined grain that we can find. So it's the same argument again. Over and over, they're saying that you do a little bit better if you don't eat the absolute worst kind of carbohydrate. That again is not an argument to eat more carbohydrates. So I wanted to point these things out because this is what shows up on a Google search. If you look for if you want to eat carbohydrates, if you should eat carbohydrates, if they're good for you, this is the garbage that shows up. It has no coherent argument, there has no logic, it has no sound research, has no basis in physiology. So that is why we get so confused. That's why I have patients come in every day who have absolutely no idea what to eat. So this channel is about teaching people enough of the big picture, enough physiology, enough human history, enough about what humans are supposed to eat and the impact it has on the body so that you can make your decisions for yourself, so that you can sift through the hype and the lack of proper arguments and the confusion. So when I see this, I laugh first and then I get really, really mad because I realize that people actually read this. This is what shows up the most. And then I think about the fact that 95% of people are going to die from a degenerative disease that could be prevented. That's 19 out of every 20 people that you know are going to have a long period of suffering and they're going to die and suffer needlessly because someone fed them bad information. So even if they were willing to do something to change, they don't know where to get it because this is the stuff that shows up. So I urge you to share this with as many people as you can, because think about them. Every 19 out of 20 people you know, you could potentially save them by giving them some good information. Share this channel with them so that they can learn and so that we can help people get a little healthier. Thanks for watching.